When nature incepts a child in a mother's womb, it makes sure that the child is destined with good and bad equally. Hello everyone, I'm Soni Puama here again with another new session of poetry on children. In my last session, we studied about a poem by prolific poet Kuvempu, Heaven If You're Not on Earth, wherein Kuvempu anticipates human beings to create heaven on earth. Today, we are here with a philosophical poetry. Before that, all the confined notes you can find on the link below. A philosophical poem is always justifying. It shows the reality of life. There are many things that we do not want to adapt because we would have already adapted what it is meant to be a taboo or complete no-no. Such is a motherhood. Nobody can replace your parents' love. In the same way, nobody can replace your children as well. Every time we have a framed ideology on our children. They are born, they turn out to be young lads and girls, they graduate, they step into maturity, they enter a wedlock, and the chain continues. But what remains the same is a theme of parenthood. The poet here gives a philosophical idea about parenting. He says that, yes, you have given birth. Everything comes out of a mother. A mother carries a child for 9 months in her womb. But a father carries the responsibility for lifetime. So, both are irreplaceable. We all know motherhood isn't easy, fatherhood isn't easy. But the poet says that it becomes easy when we are ideologically concepted, while we understand the parenthood philosophically. So now he starts the lines like this. And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." Here is a mother who has taken a closure part and is nursing her child and wants to know something about children. She is questioning a prophet. She is questioning a prophet to know about children. What is that she wants to know? She wants to know about the concept of being a mother. Bosom indicates close to heart. When a mother holds her child very closer to her bosom, they are mutually connected. They are connected through their hearts. That's why a child is always a mother's favorite and father's responsibility. But both are irreplaceable. A mother here asks the prophet in the other way around, Almighty or God, the one who is a polymath, the one who has an answer for every questions. So nursing her child, feeding her child, the mother wants to know, what is parenthood? How do we have to parent? How do we have to nurture our child? What is the best point in upbringing a child? And the prophet answers thematically and metaphorically. And he says, your children are not your children. Pejorative though, very stunning answer wherein everybody are heard. A mother who carried her child in the womb for 9 months had to have a sabbatical labor pain and had to deliver a baby almost dead, and the prophet answers, your child is not your child. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Yes, you have given them birth. You're done with your job. Now, whom do they belong to? They belong to life's longing. They belong to themselves. Your duty was to give a new life. You have given them a new life. And now it's done and dusted. Now they are your responsibility, true, but they are their self-made. They might be your responsibility, but they are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. Life longing in the sense that they belong to themselves, the way they sculpt themselves. You're done with your responsibility. They come through you. Yes, you deliver them, but not from you. Biologically, they are connected, but when it compared, while it comes to your soul, they have a different soul. Yes, you share the blood and flesh. You share everything that brings a bond together. but they are not your children at all. Biologically, you can term them as children, but you cannot own them. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Very confusing, yet philosophical. You think that they are your part, but mind you, they are not. They belong to nature. They connected with that of God, and they are free to decide. And though they are with you seems to be very consoling, yet they belong not to you. That's the problem. We parents try to impose our ideas on children. We already have set our mind of a dream wherein we will have to tell them, this is what you are. Once the child is born, you decide their future, you decide their destiny. You will be a doctor, you will be an engineer, you will be an architect, you will be a professor. You will join this, you will do your NEET, you will do your JEE. But have you ever tried to ask your child what they deserve, what they expect? It's always a parent who expects from a child. The child would have expected that too. So let's not do that, because they are not your children. Biologically, yes, but solely they are not. You may give them your love, give them all the love. Love is fair enough, but not your thoughts. Don't impose your thoughts on your child. Thoughts play a very contradictory role to love. We all think that our child is bestowed with best education. He would have a world's happiness. He wants to enjoy all the luxuries of life. But how? What is the bridge? For they have their own thoughts. Let's not impose, because for example, my favorite actress would be Kiara Advani or Kareena Kapoor, but yours might be very different. The girl or a boy who seem to be very beautiful for me, it may not be the same with you. So our thoughts differ from person to person. So how come that we parents impose our ideas, our dreams on our children? If they do not want to be an engineer, let them live their dream what they want. If your child wants to be a singer, let them be. At least they'll be happy. It's true that you would have given whole of your life in nurturing the child. You would have given a sabbatical life for your child. But that's your duty, that's our duty. Now the rest lies in your child. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. Body is very different from soul. Yes, you will shelter their body, but what will happen to the soul? The soul belongs to your child, so they will have to face the pain. They will face all the perils of life. If you impose your ideas, that may not go well with your child at all. For their souls dwell in the sense live in the house of tomorrow. We have seen yesterday, we have seen today, we will see our tomorrow. But it's only your child who will decide his or her tomorrow. What is that I aim to be? I aim to be a singer, but my parents want to be a doctor. How different? Profession is very different from passion. Many of us compensate with that of profession and passion, but we should not do that. If you live your passion, that's where you live your profession. If you have chosen to be an engineer and that's your passion, that's where you live your dream. So let's not impose our ideas, our thoughts on our children. If they are born independent, let them be so. Which you cannot visit. We cannot visit our children's future. We cannot visit our children's past also. Not even in your dreams. I'll tell you, sarcastically, dreams wherein it's free of cost. Nobody has to pay anything to dream. But you cannot visit your child even in your dream. You cannot even think in your dream that they will do what you say. Yes, there are many students who have undergone depression only because their parents wanted them to have a very tough life studying engineering, doctor. Any subject which is studied with passion and love can contribute to the world of education. Imposing your idea can lead to catastrophe on your child. You may strive to be like them. Yes, we would always want to connect ourselves with that of our children. We would always want to copy the ideas of our children. Let us be so. Let's see How is it very different from getting ideas from our children? But seek not to make them like you. Those were the days when men wore bell-bottom. Women had a very short pallu sari with bun aloof. But now, if you go on to the streets and advise your child to do so, will they? They wouldn't want to. Retro once in a while for a college function, for a school function is fine. But overall, never. But seek not to make them like you. Give them good things. Give them all the ethics and morals. Give them good education. But do not impose yourself onto them. If you impose your ideas on them, they will lose themselves. For life goes for backward, not tarries with yesterday. Tarries is nothing but stay, or linger is to tarry. For life goes not backward. We don't have a reverse in a cassette of life, but tarries with yesterday. It will retain with that of yesterday. What we do today will impact them tomorrow, because yesterday never lingers in the previous or the next day. Known to all that parents are the guiding stars for every children. You're equally born with that of one. But God is that lantern or a chandelier where both parents and children are brimmed under lights. And here there is a comparison. This is the one. You are the bows from which your children living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite. Bow refers to parents. Arrows refers to children. You know the character sketch of a arrow. It's only because of arrow the bow is complete. Only because of the bow the arrow is complete. So both are barren without each other. So parents serves a child as a bow, and what is childlike? They are the arrows, wherein only with the help of a bow the arrow can reach the destination. And who is an archer? The archer is God in himself. The time parents starts living as a guardian stars onto their children, it's the same way God also serves the purpose of brimming them under mighty lights. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite. The way you can see your child's future, God can better even see to the path of infinity. It's God who will decide what is good for your child. So never try to impose your ideas. Serve the purpose. Serve being your parents. Serve being the one to your children. And he bends you with his might. Might is nothing but the power. So he will help you with all his might. The time you actually contradict with that of your bows and arrows, he will guide your child to reach the pinnacle of success. That his arrows may go swift and far. We can never test, we can never doubt about the might of God. He is very powerful. It's just like, if we doubt God, it's just like doubting our existence. So that's the future of a child. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. Accept your child the way it is. When you start guiding your child, make sure that you guide them the way it has to be. Never be very impulsive in guiding your child. If you are paying them for education, it doesn't mean that your thoughts has to be bestowed. It means that they are independent enough. Yes, they have come out of you, but they're not from you. They share the blood. What if the blood group is AB positive and yours is AB positive is what the question is. But they have their individuality. They will have to see all the sacrifices as children. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. He says he loves children and parents equally. He says that he loves the arrow the same way he loves the bow, that is stable. Stability matters. What is the importance of stable? Stable in the sense, let's accept everything the way it is. Coming to the glossary part, nothing has gone out of the text at all. So what is that the teacher is getting to you? The beautiful teacher gets 4 marks on one question for you to answer. You have to be very natural in your approach. You have to be very diplomatic in your approach, because parenthood isn't that easy. And to put it up in words, you have to walk in the shoe of your parent. And every parent is advised to walk on the shoes of your child, because after all, childhood is everything. That's a phase very beautifully done, or that's a phase where it's molded beautifully, not to lose the innocence of a child. So here's Vidyashram for you. Standard retained on learning. Let's nurture our child for a better tomorrow, rather giving them the thought of depression. I'm here again yet with another new chapter of poetry genre. Of course, the genre is poetry here, to the food from its child. Until then, goodbye.